The sun is just coming up behind me, so that must mean I'm headed west. And we've been on the road for about 3 hours, a little less than an hour left to get to Boise. We finally get to pick up our new Gladiator. I cannot wait. I am excited to see this. We ordered this truck about 70 days ago, and a couple little snafus in the ordering process, nothing worth really worrying about, but it's finally here. Shipping took forever, but finally here. We're finally on our way to get her. It's about a 4-hour drive from our house to Boise, and should be there. Yeah, right about 76 miles according to GPS. So that means we are in lovely Idaho on I-84. Traffic's a little heavier than you'd think for a holiday in Idaho, especially out here in the middle of no man's land. But no complaints. It's been a nice, easy drive. You can honestly tell I'm not driving a Jeep. This is actually our trade-in. It's 2003 Yukon. It's been our family truckster for a while. We're headed to Nampa, actually, not Boise, but they're right next to each other. Peterson Jeep there, Kent's been handling all the paperwork and everything for us, so hopefully everything's in line when we get there. We can be in and out real quick. And before we leave Idaho, we're going to stop into Factory 55 and check out all the new stuff that they just released at SEMA. It'll be the first time I've gotten to actually put hands on their new equipment. It's going to be a fun day. You can tell I've had a lot of caffeine. It's what happens when you get up at 4 a.m. to hit the road. But yeah, getting a new Gladiator today and getting to check out Factory 55. Super excited. So 68 miles now. I'll check in with you when we get back there. Well, it looks like we're here. And I don't know if you can see that with the sun, but there is a metric ton of Jeeps sitting here. Now, first thing first, let's find a restroom, and then let's find our Jeep. I got a feeling that it's this one right in front of me. Actually, no, that's not our Jeep. Our Jeep doesn't have painted fenders. Ours is around here somewhere. We'll find it right after we find the restroom.
No, but I swear to you, once
there
this
she
tan leather
is.
came out,
Oh, I freaking
so
love
good
it, man.
Stingray.
Yeah, I looked for a lot of pictures to see those seats with this color.
It's tough to find at first because there was nothing on the lot anywhere.
Yep.
It was all renderings.
And it looks like they actually put the right fenders on this one. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a ton of Rubicons coming out with sport fenders on one side and not on the other.
I'm 500 deep at this point on these Jeeps right now, between Wranglers and Gladiators, and I've been blessed, man. I've had a single problem. I've had a few show up with the wrong tires, but that's because factory shortages. They'll show up with the Falcon when they need CO2.
Look at all that. It's all mine. Ah. All right, let's go do some paperwork. Well, all done. Peterson's here. We're gonna clean all our gear out of the Yukon and move into our new Rubicon Jeep Gladiator. Can't wait to get her going. So let's move some crap. Well, we're done. That was super fast. Kent and Kyle there at Peterson do a fantastic job. Granted, they had all my information before I showed up, but I was in and out of there real quick. I actually took a little bit longer just to look at some other vehicles that were on the lot because one of the other off-map team members is looking at a new Jeep too. So got him on the phone and we walked through what was available, what options he could order and stuff like that. So we spent an extra half hour just looking at more Jeeps, which for me, quite a bit of fun. Even if I'm not buying that specific one, I still love Jeeps. But here we are, 16 miles on the odometer. And we do not have a good mount for that camera yet, so bear with me. But we picked it up with 12 miles on it, got all the paperwork done, and We are on the road again. Let's see if I can get this to stabilize a little bit better. We did have to have them take a couple PSI out of the tires because they were sitting at about 41 PSI when I went to test drive it, and you could feel every single lug, and I had them drop that down to 35, and it rides a lot better. I'm not getting any wander in the wheel like some people are experiencing with their Gladiators, and I think it's going to be real solid just the way it drives. I mean, this is a bumpy little bit of interstate on our way over to see our friends at Factor 55, and she's tracking straight. I'm one finger easily hold it, if not just let it stay in its lane. Yeah, she's not pulling at all. So no flightiness, no wandering, and looks like we lucked out and didn't have the same issue some other people do. But it's gonna take me a little bit to get acquainted with all of this. I'm super excited. Love these tan seats. They turned out phenomenal. And luckily for us, not a bunch of red stitching and a red dashboard in here, which is one of the things I definitely didn't want. I'm part of that small minority of people that actually doesn't like the color red. So silver dash on a gray Jeep works much better for me, and God, I really love these seats. So next step, run over to Factor 55, which I'll try to video as much of that as possible for you guys. And then we'll be back on the road, take her home so I can show the family their new off-road rig. So check back shortly. All right, we're here, and look what we're parked behind. I got a feeling I know who runs that one. Now, which door is theirs is the next question. He sent me the address. 107. Boop, 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 boop. Is it on that side? Where is 107? Well, I see 8, 9, 10, 11. Wonder if 107's up on the front side.
Well, no, well, mine are bought one too, but this is like bright orange. So, is it worth all the hassle?
Oh, go figure out for yourself.
God, the key is like
huge, right? It's ridiculous. So,
you don't have to use that.
Yeah, no, it stays in your pocket all the time. But AJT makes one that takes this flipper piece completely out, and it's like half the size. Because you don't need the flipper for anything, because it's proximity control even for the damn tailgate.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, that's actually pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's
That's the same one as the JL and everything.
yeah, it's the exact same as a JL.
It's really,
dude, it's a brick. So if you need to like buddy up,
I mean, yeah, man.
like,
if you're getting in a parking lot.
None of this. They teach you in women's self-defense. Like, you're bopping somebody with this.
What's up, bro? What up?
Good to see you, man.
You too, buddy. How are you?
I am freaking fan. I'm freaking stoked to finally get the damn thing. It's been 70 days since I ordered that.
Oscar, what's up, boss? This is Zach.
Zach, Oscar, pleasure to meet you, man. I know what you're asking yourself. Why am I sitting next to the tire on a brand new vehicle? Well, it started getting a little flighty once the tires warmed up. So it got up to about 43 PSI once they got warm. So now I'm lowering them back to the 35 I wanted them set at to begin with. And we're using our selectable tire fill alert to do that. So theoretically, when this hits 35 PSI, it's going to beat the horn out. Bingo, 35 PSI. That's an awesome little feature. Using my trusty deflator, i.e. the end of my knife, because I didn't put all my tire deflating gear in the trade-in to bring over to find this vehicle. So we'll see if it beats the horn again at 35. I don't know if you could hear that, but it beeped. So let's go check the dash and see what it says. See if we truly are at 35 PSI. Right there. Let's turn this radio down a little bit. So yeah, looks like we are at 34 per corner. I'm sure that'll warm up just a little bit more. But hopefully that alleviates some of the flightiness we were experiencing. Oh, man. 110 mile update. Well, if I splice this together correctly, you're going to see where I had to stop at a rest area and let just a little more air out of the tires. I really wonder when they ship these things how much air they really put in there. And then I got to wonder how accurate the dealer's gauge is. I know they heat up once you're on the road for a little bit, but man, did that add a lot of pressure. I was checking the gauges right about the time I got to that rest area, and I really thought it was the headwind that was blowing me around real bad. And it turns out part of it's the headwind because I'm still feeling a little bit, but the other part is that we were sitting at about 42 psi in the tires once they warmed up. So I went out, I used the selectable tire fill alert, knocked that down to 35. As you saw on the camera when I finished that section, they were all right at 34. So it works, the select tire fill works perfectly. And I've got about another 80 miles since I lowered the pressure on them. The Jeep's stable again, it works great. Just really check your tire pressure if you drive one of these off the lot. And I'd honestly recommend setting it to about 35, 36 cold if you're going to run the factory Rubicon tires. Let me go around this guy real quick. Currently, they've only went up another 2 psi, so I'm sitting right at 36. The door placard says 37. I know that's supposed to be cold fill, and they're supposed to go up some, but the Jeep feels real planted. And these tires aren't going to be on here for long. I've got a nice set of BF Goodrich KM3s waiting for it in the garage at home. So this is more for stability. I don't really care about the life of these. That's the next owner's problem. So I'm sure 36 might not be ideal, but it's handling a lot better than it did at 41, and that's what matters. Past that, I mean, I'm a little over 100 miles in. It had 12 miles on it when I got it, and I just rolled 113. So really, this is my 101 mile update. I love this thing. I love it. I absolutely do. Started eating and drinking in it right away. Trying to get back home, see my kids, get some homemade dinner versus having to eat more gas station food or anything like that. So dine and dash after I got done at Factory 55. Those guys are awesome. They have a phenomenal little shop there. They make a phenomenal product, and you're probably going to see it in its own separate video. Shouldn't be doing this while driving, but they put a flat link on for me. Got our rope all spliced up, and I hope this audio turns out okay. This is a Jeep. We are doing 80 miles an hour on an 80 mile an hour section of interstate, and the road noise is up there a little bit. It's better with a hard top, but it's still a Jeep on mud tires. So I am hearing those lugs slap the pavement. So more about the Jeep. I love this thing. It is comfortable. These seats are perfect. I really love how the brown sits in here. These I looked at one for Mike while I was there just to see what the Heritage cloth looked like in person, and that tan cloth is super light. Like if this is brown, it's almost like a really fine sand. Like if it was in bright sunlight, you would almost think it was white, kind of too light. And, if you got kids, dogs, or anything, I think that Heritage tan is going to be too light for most people. Past that, man, are these seats nice. I am comfy. I really like it. I'll post some pictures of the dash and everything later. But I ordered the brown seats so I specifically would not get the red stitching everywhere and the red dash panels. So instead I ended up with this real nice kind of I forget what the Jeep calls it, but it's like a pure silver. It's not quite billet, but it's not quite the same silver as the Sting Gray. And I think it turned out great. It feels, I'm going to go so far as to say it feels a little classy in here. I had the Toyota Tacoma TRD with their leather package in it, and it was nice. It was like a really comfortable interior. Things were laid out really nice. I had no, except for the back seat room, which this one has a lot more than the Tacoma did. But my only real beef with the Tacoma's interior layout was the room, basically. Other than that, it was fantastic. As far as quality, fit, and finish goes, I would say this is easily on par with that. Real nice interior. Very, very comfortable. Everything works great. We are fighting quite a bit of a headwind, so I'm spending a lot of time in 7th gear. So, Toyota, if you're listening, you should find the guy at Jeep that put this drivetrain together and have him put together your next Tacoma. Just saying. Hey everyone, welcome back. We have just rolled 300 miles and we are getting real close to home. Sun's just going down behind me, so if the light's a little off, I apologize. Still working out the settings in this new camera. Our exit's coming up. We're about to get off the interstate. I've got good news and bad news. Good news is a lot of that road and wind noise that I was hearing earlier on the other side of the mountain was the headwind we were fighting. The bad news of that is we were fighting a headwind for our first 250 miles. So we've already had to fill up once. Low fuel light came on at about 270 miles, which isn't good. That's not a long way on 19 gallons of gas. But it's breaking in. A lot of people are reporting they get better gas mileage about the 1,500 mile mark. And yeah, so that's where we're at. We got 1.4 miles to our turn. It's neat, this new gauge cluster. I've got the GPS up on here, but currently the audio is here. So any turns that are coming up actually displays in the center. And as they're coming up about 2 miles out, it's showing them here. I know that's not a new feature, but it's a new feature for Jeeps. So a lot of things have been missing, and the JK and some of their lack of updates are now available here. And it looks like there's a lot of people exiting to head 15 north. So I'm just going to follow the line instead of trying to shoot around anybody. I've been getting a lot of thumbs up on my way by. And I'm actually hoping that now that we've slowed down a little bit and aren't fighting the headwind, this audio quality is better. So if you missed the 100 mile and the 200 mile updates, it's probably because the audio was completely useless. Because that headwind, I actually looked it up on the weather app built in, we were fighting gusting headwinds up to 25 miles an hour. So all the times I was getting 13, 14 miles a gallon, I kind of understand why. No matter the fact it's the new 8-speed, it's got the new 3.6 Gen 2, and all the fancy stuff that the new Jeeps have, it's still a Jeep. It's still a cinder block on wheels. So yeah, we are almost home. I'm excited to show the family. I really am. I absolutely love the interior. I hope the wife loves it. Kids won't care. They're too small to care. But I'm hoping they grow with it, and we do a lot of fun stuff together. Really, I didn't care much about the vehicle when I was a kid. Like I said earlier, I learned how to drive stick on a 42 Willys, and it was awesome. It was cool, but I didn't know anything about vehicles at the time. And enjoying going out in that, and then having that vehicle break down on us, is what got me into automotive stuff. Half of the fun was driving it, and the other half is actually just building it. It's the project that goes along with it, because anytime you don't have time, funds, whatever, to be out on the road, there's always something you can be doing. There's little maintenance items that, yeah, you might be doing them prematurely, but heck, you got a weekend where you're not doing anything, or even a weekday. Kids are bored, running amok. You know what my daughter loves to do? She loves to hand me tools. Why not rotate the tires? Only takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, but to them, it's interaction time with their dad, and she loves it. I love hanging out with her. That crazy kid. When we were installing rock sliders on my Tacoma, she actually was stealing my wrenches, and I didn't know it, because she was going underneath the truck on one side, crawling under, grabbing the wrench that I had left underneath there, crawling back out the other side, and she was taking these wrenches and putting them in her tricycle. Her trike's got one of those trunks on the back of it. And I kept going back. It's like, I swear I grabbed that wrench. So I'm back at the toolbox looking for this wrench that I knew I'd grabbed, but I thought I'd lost my mind. And that's when I heard the next wrench that she'd grabbed drop into the tricycle. So I look around the edge of the truck, and here goes her little butt crawling underneath. I go to the other side of the truck and I'm watching. Here comes a hand, grabs a wrench, pulls it back under the truck. Okay, so I turn around, or I go back to the other side of the truck, and I'm just waiting. Here she comes, crawling out, stands up, goes over to her trike, pokes at it. She's still young, so she's not actually wrenching on it, but she's poking at her trike with it. Opens up the trunk, puts the wrench in there, and I heard them all ding together. It's like, that's where my wrenches are. So part of me is like, thank God I'm not crazy. The other half of me is, that's freaking adorable. And then there's a small part of me is like, dang it, kid, you're stopping me from getting this done. But, you know, that little bit of not hesitation, but that little bit of inconvenience. And, you know, you want to get things done. You don't want to be working on things all the time. But that little bit matters so much to them. That little bit of involving them, a little bit of things they get to do. That low cost of letting them be involved in that way, for me as a child, made a huge difference. Like even just handing wrenches, even if that's all that's safe for them to do, let them hand wrenches. I have no problem busting a couple nuts loose and then having her spin the tire iron. You know, this way, hold it. And she's still small, so I gotta help her do it. But her thinking that she's helping goes a long, long way towards really getting their involvement and their excitement up. And I hope I can keep that going with my son. And as my daughter gets older, she'll get more helpful. Really, I fell in love with this stuff as a kid, and now that I'm a father, I really hope to share all the things that I loved as a kid with my kids. Out of state plate, he doesn't realize what's going on up ahead of him. It's in a Jeep, right? No need to be in a hurry.
After 1,000 feet, keep right.
But I am excited to see those kiddos. I got about 3 turns and I'm home. So we'll get to put this thing in the garage for the first time. Get me some dinner because I am starving. I have barely eaten today. I've been too much go and sitting on my butt all day. I don't really need a lot of intake. Yeah.
In 800 feet, turn left onto South 1200
This thing has a great pickup.
West.
This 8-speed tranny is awesome.
South
And
1200
apparently
West.
the Gen 2 3.6 gives you another 15% more torque than the JK 3.6. And it's noticeable. I don't know if it's the transmission that's doing most of it, or if it's that extra 15% torque. Probably a good combination of the two. But yeah, when you put your foot down, this thing really picks up. I was super impressed. I launched it a couple times and it just straight went.
Route recalculation.
Well,
In 600 feet, turn left onto West 2350 South.
okay, I know
Take the next
where I'm
left
at.
onto West 2350
So
South.
how does one exit navigation? Stop guidance. Are you sure you want to stop guidance? Yes. Yep, I know where I'm at. So this map page puts off a lot of light, and if this is any indication, yeah, you can see me pretty decent. I can probably touch that up in editing. And so food for thought. Know myself, if I need to run the camera and it's dark out, turn this stuff up to max. Well, I am pulling into my neighborhood. My neighborhood has a metric ton of kids running around it, and it's a holiday. They have to go to school tomorrow, but it's a holiday today, so they might still be out playing around. So I'm going to kill this video and pay a lot better attention to where I'm at. Take care, guys. That was my 300-mile update.